How's it going, everyone? Panther fans, NFL fans, my haters, how y'all doing? Um, Coming back for another video, mostly because Sports Live feels the need to keep calling out my name. He wants me to cam. I don't know why. Um, because there's plenty of people in Panther Nation that can bitch slap his ass around. I don't mind coming out. Especially since I did actually cam up for the NFC South teams anyway last season. As for this Falcons game, what can I say to Sports Live and some of these other Falcons fans? First of all, fuck your team. Um, and I would recommend that y'all actually buy up these tickets because if y'all don't, it's gonna turn into a neutral site. Um, Panther fans, first of all, we've been traveling well pretty much all season long, whether it been the Jaguars game, Titans, Cowboys, whatever. But being that Atlanta is probably one of the closest teams to us, and that we're doing so well, and also the fact that all the remaining games from the Bucks onto the divisional round game, all those games are going to be so expensive. Uh, the Atlanta game is going to be cheaper, and therefore there's going to be even more Panther fans that are in the dome than usual. So I basically kind of see this as uh, basically like a eighth home game. I know I'm being a little sarcastic, but I mean there are going to be a lot of Panther fans in there, and if y'all fuck around and don't buy those tickets, and if your team fucks around and gets their ass whooped, then there will definitely, for the third year in a row, be more Panther fans at the end of the game than there are Falcon fans. And I know y'all don't want that. By the way, I do think this is going to be a better game than last time. Let's face it. Julio Jones had a pretty good game. And who else? I thought y'all did a very good job of containing Cam Newton. But that's basically where the compliments end right there because while y'all did a good job of stopping Cam Newton in the run department, y'all couldn't stop shit else. I mean, you couldn't stop Jonathan Stewart. You couldn't stop our passing game. Um, you really couldn't move the ball very much. I mean, you had the ball in our territory a couple of times. One time, the dude, I think it was like a fumble snap or something, and y'all ended up getting tackled way like close to the 50. I can't even remember hardly what happened, but I just remember like there was some kind of botch, and then like dude's running like 20 yards back and he gets tackled or whatever. And then y'all have an opportunity to make a field goal in the fourth quarter, but y'all chose. Like I remember saying on Twitter, if I were Atlanta, I would have kicked the damn field goal, and just to put points on the board and be a dick. But that's me. Um, as for y'all though, y'all decided to go for it on fourth down. Y'all didn't make it, and y'all got shut out. Congratulations. But like I said, I fully expect y'all to play better because you're gonna have the crowd on your side. I assume that they're gonna be fairly loud. However many are actually gonna show up. That is, um, because let's face it, every team pretty much from the Titans forward. Once we beat Green Bay, everyone realized that we were for real, and everyone has basically treated us like their Super Bowl. And this game is no different. There's going to be, like fantasy football said last time, there's going to be more pressure on us. Um, Probably even more pressure this time than last time, simply because um, we're 14-0 and we're so close to getting to 16-0. that we have to go for it at this point. I mean, we don't want to fuck around and get 14-2 or 15-1 and something like that. I mean, that's gay. I don't want that. I want 16-0, and then we'll start worrying about Seattle and Arizona and Green Bay from there. Going back to these Falcons, the Falcons' best opportunity, if they want to win this game, you have to. I mean, it's so hard to stop our run game. Let's be real, because if you key in on Cam on the read option, then the running back is going to get loose. If you key in on the running back, then Cam's going to get loose, and that's probably worse. Your best bet is if Jonathan Stewart is still banged up and can't go this game. And sorry about that. I had a Pat Coltrane moment there for a minute. Camera cut off. But anyway, where I left off was you can key in on Cam Newton and the running back gets free on the read option, or you can key in on the running back and Cam Newton gets free. And your best bet is if, first of all, Jonathan Stewart is not ready to go in this game. And secondly, would be if Cameron Artis-Payne is in there. Being that he's a rookie back, we don't know. He's obviously not going to be as good of a pass blocker. So if you send blitzes, you can certainly test him that way. You can test his ball security, because we don't know. He may very well be a fumbler. We don't know that. We don't know that he's not. I mean, he might not have been in Auburn, but the pro game is different. So, that's really your best bet is hope for some miscues from the rookie. You want to try to keep Cam contained as best you can, and obviously you're going to have to blitz because we all know that your defensive line can't get there on their own. And that brings me to another point of what separates the Panthers from the Falcons is that our GM, our general manager, the gangsta, as Pat Coltrane likes to say, the gangsta, Dave Gettleman. But then on the other hand, on the flip side, you have Atlanta with their GM. They haven't drafted well. If you look at who they've drafted the last 2 years, they have Vic Beasley, who their fan base, pretty much their whole fan base, is taking a shit on. But even I'm sitting here thinking, like, damn, the motherfucker has just been here 1 year. You have to give him a chance to develop, gain experience, and to put some more weight on, and see if he doesn't get better. Before you just in year one, you're taking a shit on him. Like, oh, he's a bust already. You don't know that, but whatever. It's your team. Who else? You bought Paul Soliai, Brooks Reed, and Tyson Jackson. All three garbage, straight garbage. And it's not even just the fact that you brought those guys in. It was the fact that you brought them in for the amount of money that you did. Between those three guys, you paid them somewhere in the neighborhood of $19 million. And for what? Like one sack between the three? Maybe? If I'm not mistaken. Hell, even, Dwan Edwards and, what's my dude's name? Wes Horton and can't even remember our other defensive tackle. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now. But even all of our backups pretty much have sacks. So the fact that you have guys who are starters 10 plus games a season and they don't have one sack to speak of, that's just pathetic. That's a pathetic evaluation of talent, and and you just can't throw money at players, you know, early on in free agency and think you're all set. I mean, and that's the kind of moves that these were for the Falcons. It's just like you throw a $25 million contract and a $32 million contract at Jackson and Soliai, and it's the kind of signings where on paper you're addressing needs, but and it's the and Falcon fans are like, yeah, we're good, we've brought in these two guys, they're really good, and then I do research on them, and I see the motherfucker Tyson Jackson 9 sacks, 9 sacks. Why the fuck would you give a $25 million contract to a guy with 9 career sacks? I mean, what? Makes no sense. I mean, and it's things like that why your team is garbage right now. So you can thank your GM for setting your team years back. Really, it's not Matt Ryan's fault. Matt Ryan is pretty good. I mean, you have Justin Hunter. I don't know why you got rid of Leonard Hankerson. I mean, he's a pretty good guy. Roddy White is getting old. He's a little washed up, but yeah, of course, you have Julio, who's a top 3 or top 4 receiver. You have Devontae Freeman, who's probably the best running back in the league. When you actually use him, that is. But you throw all this cash at these guys who are not able to get after their passer, and that's the reason why you're mediocre, and you lose to teams like San Francisco and fuck, who else did y'all lose to? Can't even think right now. You got doubled up by Minnesota and all these other teams. Of course, Minnesota is a decent team. They're probably going to make the playoffs. But with that said, I mean they're not that good. But yeah, I mean I do think this is going to be a better game, and I know I'm well aware that this is your Super Bowl, because damn sure aren't going to be going anywhere near it. A Super Bowl, not this year, but probably for the next 30 years, if you want to be honest about it. I mean, that's just my opinion. Let's see, but yeah, the Falcons, they're not a good team. No pass rush. They're not balanced on offense, and they constantly shoot themselves in the foot in the red zone. Ew. I mean, I don't know what kind of analysis you want me to say for this game, because frankly, I don't see y'all as a major threat to beat us. I mean, I know y'all can say, well, you're overlooking it, and to some extent, you're right. I am, but at the same time, it's not like we're just going to completely go to sleep on you either, because we've had 2 wake-up calls in the past 3 weeks, against inferior opponents, against the Giants and against the Saints. And y'all don't have the offensive line that either one of those teams do. And you don't have the quarterback that either one of those teams do. But, like I said, be a good game, but y'all are going to have to hope that we fuck up along the way, give y'all some opportunities. And as for Sports Live's claim that, we're not going anywhere in the playoffs, and this is the first year in our history that we've been good, and, we've not really done anything. As far as that goes, zip. You can just zip it right now, because we've been to a Super Bowl more recently than y'all. We've been to the playoffs. This is the 3rd year in a row. Division title, a 3rd year in a row. We have we're the only team in the NFC South with a above 500 record in the playoffs. And unlike the Falcons, we don't have a tendency to choke because even in the Falcons' best year in 2012, when y'all were the number one seed, even then y'all still split with the NFC South. So, and your biggest loss of the season was to a 3-9 football team. So, I don't know where you get off telling us that we haven't really achieved anything when y'all have been around 30 years longer and haven't done jack shit. But anyway, I think I've spoken long enough. And I do want to give a few shout outs to Pat Coltrane. It's your boy. Panther Nasty. Let's see. I still wear that hat, by the way, that you bought me, a little over a year ago. Team Money. Who else do I want to shout out? No Comparison. My boy Mario. Yeah. See, Carolina Panthers First Lady. Cali Blue. Battle Cat. LaShawn Drums, and the new guy, Tory G, who I just discovered today. He had a good video on us being 14-0 and undefeated, and he was pointing out the fact that we, maybe our schedule hasn't been as good, but then again, who else? What teams have the other elite teams beaten? If you're looking at Denver. That they've only beaten like 3 or 4 playoff teams. New England's only beat like three or 4 playoff teams, and so have we. So I don't see where people get off trying to tell us that we've had this cake schedule when the other teams haven't exactly had the toughest schedules in the league, either. You know what I'm saying? If they're only beating like 3 or 4 playoff teams themselves. But I think. By the way, I'm going to put Tory G's link in the description, and I thank y'all for watching. Go Panthers. Let's get to 15-0 and 18-3 in December, and 3 in a row against the Falcons. And that's all I got. Peace.